Scott, if there's anything we can guarantee with this season with Slough, it's that we don't do boring whatsoever. It's finished in a 2-2 draw here against St Albans, but I think we're going to feel aggrieved about a massive chance right at the end for Cook Appiah. What are your thoughts, even just about the end of the game to start with, because it was a bit of a wild one?
Yeah, I spoke to the lads in the game, in the change room after, and it's not about that moment in today's game. It's about moments throughout the season where we've had teams on top. We've been on top of teams and we've not put them to the sword. The first half, we should have been 3 or 4-0 up. I thought it was really comfortable. Probably the most dominant we've been in a few weeks. Second half, they had a lot of possession, didn't really hurt us, but yet again, we should have found ourselves 3-0 up. David, I don't like the phrase, has got to score, but the keeper's made a really good save, but should score. First goal, obviously, for them, a whipped cross in that catches out the back line, and then Dan obviously gets a hand to it, no blame to him. And then a massive penalty decision, which the ref takes 2 or 3 seconds to make a decision on. Leon's adamant he's got the ball, but one thing I will say is that it's naive from Leon. He can't go to ground. The lad's going nowhere, and he's beating himself up after a brilliant performance. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, and it's not his fault. And then in the dying seconds of the game, another one, Trey should score. Yeah, he's beating himself up as well. So there's a change room at the moment that's completely dejected. Everyone feels flat. Yellow was probably a lot more positive than I was. But I said big moments in games, yeah, have a massive impact. And today we were on the wrong end of either poor decision making or poor execution, and ultimately it's cost us. I feel like we've lost the game, and we haven't. But yeah, listen, it's not enough. I said to the lads, can we be 4 points outside the playoffs if we were to possibly get the 3 points from the Bath game? If it ever happens, I don't know. With 4 games to go, and that was the aim at the beginning of the day, and we've not been able to achieve it. I think we deserve to be the winners today, but yeah, goals and results obviously say differently in terms of being a 2-2 draw rather than being a victory for us.
So going back then right to the very start of the first half, because of course we've had another situation where Slough scored inside the first 60 seconds yet again. Good finish by Johnny Goddard as well. Nathan following up not even 14, 15 minutes later as well. So another great start for us. Is that something you've worked on and told the team to kind of focus on trying to push early on? Yeah,
I wouldn't say that it's something we work on. You can't go and plan to score a goal within 60 seconds. But we just said about being front foot, being dominant, stopping them playing. And I don't think they could live with us for the first 45 minutes. I thought we were absolutely superb. The press was perfect. They changed their shape. So we then had to readjust how we pressed. And for 2 or 3 minutes, it was maybe a little bit disjointed. And then we got back on top of things. Yeah, just gutted at the moment. I think it's there for us today to go and win that football match, and we haven't. They're a really good side, there's no doubt about it. They've got some fantastic players that look after the ball really well. They've been playing at this level for a long time now and been doing well at this level, so we knew it would be tough. But I think St Albans will be a lot more happy with getting a point today rather than us getting a point.
And then moving onwards into the second half, did you feel that it was maybe the Slough team just sort of dropping off a little bit, because obviously there was a bit of a press on, as St Albans like to build out from the back? Is that where they kind of took advantage slightly, as the Slough teams maybe tired out a little bit?
Yeah, I don't even think we got tired. They just got more bodies higher up the pitch and playing off our shoulders. So it's difficult. You can't go and press if you've got people that are in behind you or to the side of you, because you go running out of the ball and they just play around you. So they just put a few more bodies up the pitch, made it a little bit more difficult for us. But we felt solid. We spoke to the lads at half time about not sort of jumping out of your spaces and leaving holes and gaps, because that's what they want. And I can't really think of a chance that they had other than the penalty and the goal that they scored. I might be wrong, I might have to watch it back, but we've had 3 or 4 really, really good chances on top of the 2 goals that we've scored. So, yeah, we feel gutted at the moment, because I think it's a game that we should win. Yellow was very positive in there, and he said it's 21 unbeaten. He's right, but at the moment I don't feel that way. I feel gutted that we've let a 2-goal lead slip. Not for the first time this season either. We've been in a lot of games where we've been 2-0 up or 2-0 down, and it's ended up being a draw, or we've lost the game, or it's been a bit of a roller coaster in the last few weeks, and that would have really sort of put the icing on the cake. I think we've had a tough few weeks, and the roof would have come off if Trey scores that one at the end and we go flying into Saturday, possibly still in the mix. You never know. with the results around us. But yeah, listen, it's not to be. I'm extremely proud of the lads, extremely proud of the team in terms of the management team, the supporters, the people at the football club. It's been a really enjoyable season, but I think like I said the other day, it's the hope that kills you. It's really, really disappointing. I think that we are a good side. We've had a lot of compliments this season, but we can also take the rough with the smooth as well. We know that there's been times this season where we've got to do better. But there's a lot of lads that are playing at this level for the first time. We don't go and recruit lads that have played at this level for years and years, or we're not getting players from a higher level. This season's been a really good experience for some of the young lads that have come to this level, and I think they'll only be stronger for it next year.
And just as you're reflecting there, do you feel you know kind of what you feel like you already need for next season, in preparation, of course, for next season?
Yeah, we've spoke at length. I've spoke to the people above me at the club. I've spoken to the people that I work with at the club about this season and what we wanted to try and achieve at the beginning of it. And I'd like to think that we've probably overachieved in terms of our ambition and what we wanted to do. We wanted to try and get through a round of the FA Cup, want to try and get through a round of the FA Trophy, try and finish as high as we can in the league, as long as it's above the dotted line at the bottom. Because there's so much going on at the club and it's not going to happen overnight. And that's not just the stuff that you see on the pitch, it's the stuff, the infrastructure that goes on behind the scenes. People are working tirelessly. And I think over the next 2-3 years, you'll see a club on the up. I think that there'll be a lot more equipped for this level, hopefully with the things that are going on. And I think it's exciting. I'm already looking forward to the next game. I'm looking forward to the rest of the games this season, and I can't wait to go again in the summer. So recruitment will be key. I don't think we need to make wholesale changes. There might be a few that come in and a few that go out. But we've already started speaking to some of the lads about next season and trying to keep the core group together, because I believe in the group. I think the supporters believe in the group. I think they can see that there's been improvements made from maybe the second half of last season when I took over. So yeah, it's baby steps. Everyone wants everything overnight, but it's a work in progress. And yeah, it's just bitterly disappointing today. And reflecting on that, it's one of those ones where I'll watch the game back, I'm sure, probably at 10 o'clock tonight, and be gutted that we haven't won it. But listen, it is what it is. We can't change it now. The lads have given us everything. We've come through today as well with a couple of injuries from obviously the Truro game the other day. So without Dan Bayliss, Davies had to pull out as well. Tyrese is still injured. So yeah, listen, we've been up against it. But listen, it is what it is. We've done well today, but ultimately we've not got what we wanted.
And then looking towards the final games of this season, then 4, maybe 5 games left of this season. Chelmsford City away next week. What, just as well as the Chelmsford game next week, what are your now sort of goals for the rest of this season? Is it just to push as high as we can and try and potentially beat the best points total we've had in the National League South?
I think so. Josh actually put a message in the group this morning about the highest points tally that we've had, and it would be nice to achieve that. But I think for us also at the same time is that we will try and finish as high as we can. We want to try and finish in the top 10. I think that would be a really good season. Then it also makes recruitment easier for next year. So when you say to players that we want to try and sign you, we finished top 10 this year, we feel like you could add to it and it might make us climb a couple of places in the league. It's a lot easier than saying we finished 15th or 16th. Hopefully they can see that there's going to be improvements made from where we were last year, like I alluded to earlier. We will probably give opportunities over the next few weeks to some of the players that we want to look at. But yeah, we're not going to just write the season off. I think we've got a real professional side to us that we want to do well. We don't want to let slip, and we want to finish as strong as we can going into next season. So yeah, just bitterly disappointing, Con. I think it's one of those ones today where I was hoping for a lot more, and I feel like it was there for the taking, and yeah, we haven't managed to grab it.
Just a last little note as well, just before we end. Of course, nearly 1,200 people here again at Arbour Park. How happy are you with the improvement that we've seen across the season in terms of home attendances?
Yeah, that's a combined effort between the directors, the people that have come into the club, the people that have been here already, the efforts that they've made. So yeah, it's massive round of applause to them. And then on top of that, the performances I think that the lads have given. That's 7 months now without a defeat at home, which is extraordinary. We've spoken about it before and people are probably bored of hearing of it. But it is some achievement, of course it is. But I'd rather have won today and celebrated being 21 unbeaten rather than drawing but 1,200 people, it's massive strides from where we were. Great atmosphere, always has been, always will be. But hopefully next season we can get 1,000 through the gate from the beginning of August. That would make a massive difference, not only to the club but to us on the pitch as well. It really does help. So obviously thanks for all their support. And like you said at the beginning of the interview, I'm sure they're not bored of watching us. It's always entertaining. Probably more entertaining for them to watch than it is for me to play in or try and manage at times. But yeah, I feel like we've got an exciting group, one that I love working with, one that I love playing with, and hopefully that will put us in good stead for next season.
Thanks again for your thoughts again today, Scott, and we'll see you away at Chelmsford next week.
Cheers, Con. Thank you.